I have been feeling to share my story of my daughter's adoption. We are coming up in a couple of days going to share a training on Tuesday about connecting with our children, and especially challenging children. So, and adoptees kind of fall in that category sometimes, and depending on how they are able to find a strong security or connection, regardless of their circumstances of birth and adoption and whatnot. There are challenges that come with that a lot of people might not be aware of. I was not aware of, even as an adopting mom. So anyway, I'll tell you my story as quickly as I can. I can fill in all the details later. I'm sure that I will share much more in the near future because it is a passion of mine, and something that I am focusing on, I would say, more than anything else in my life. So I'm sure it will come up. I'll have opportunities where I can share more. So this is my story, my mission, my purpose in life. I have always thought was to be a mom. Growing up, I just knew that's all I wanted to be. I didn't put any effort into going to college. I just thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I would be lucky enough to marry someone who supported me in that role. I trusted that Heavenly Father would provide that opportunity for me, and that I wouldn't need to do a lot of extra efforts or whatever, but that I still would build skills, but I would not have a career outside of my home. That's what I always felt, and always what I always wanted. So in my growing up years and college years, I took child development classes. I was a nanny for several different families and trained professionally as a nanny. Actually, that was before everyone started calling themselves nannies, because it was a little more of a trained position than a babysitter. But I did a live-in nanny for a couple of families even, so a lot of experience with raising children. I was also a court-appointed special advocate, a volunteer for Guardian Ad Litem, where I testified for them in court. These children, the neglected and abused children, I would spend time with them, and then I would write testimonials for them and their experience and their life and how things are going. And then I would testify for them before the judge. The judge would tell us that our testimonies were very valid, very important to them. So I really enjoyed that role. I was able to learn a lot about abuse and neglect and how to just build healthy relationships with our children and the things that are important for children growing and feeling secure. I was a huge Super Nanny fan. I loved watching her shows. I just thought there's just nothing that we can't do as parents to help raise our children. I had all the tools, I had the psychology, I had the techniques, and I just was all equipped to be this wonderful mother, and life was going to be great as a mom. That was what my perspective was before I got married. And then got married at the age of 33, and then for 6 years was unable to have children or to get pregnant. And so we tried for 6 years. We tried, well, my husband at the time was not ready to be a dad. So there was some birth control at first, but we tried for 6 years. We after years of trying, and we tried in vitro fertilization. We tried um, artificial insemination. We tried different drugs. We tried lots of prayers every single day, prayers and fasting and pleading and begging God and making deals with Him. And we went through one adoption, a full term birth adoption that failed. From the day that she found out she was pregnant, she chose us to be her parents, and we went through the entire pregnancy, flew to Virginia to take the baby home with us, and at the last minute, baby daddy decided that he was going to intervene and he was going to stop the adoption from happening, and that's what happened. So failed adoption. That was 1 year before we actually adopted the daughter that we have now. Her birth mom saw us going through that, the tragedy of us losing that baby, The whole ward was so excited for us to adopt and bring our baby home, and then came home empty-handed. And that was she saw us going through all that, and she saw our faith, and she was mostly impressed, I'm sure, with my husband at the time, and wanted to provide this baby that she had of hers. She wanted to provide this baby with a dad and a mom, and so she chose us to adopt her baby. So at 41, I adopted our daughter. And now, fast forward 6 years or so, she started experiencing severe anxiety, separation anxiety. She had moments up until then with moods and whatever. I just thought it was all so normal, which it all is. There was, but there as she got older, and this was in the time of our marriage when we were separating and then divorcing. We were separated when she was 6 and divorced when she was 7. So in addition to some of the separation anxiety stuff that she was dealing with as a child adopted, she was also struggling with her parents separating. So a lot of security issues were coming up. Her not having any feeling or ounce of control in her life was really, really, really difficult for her. So she had a lot of emotional breakdowns. I started learning about reactive attachment disorder and how that's very common in adoptees, how it's common in babies that are separated from their biological mother early on. Even moms who keep their babies and don't place them for adoption, these children sometimes still will struggle with some of these, I guess, reactions. There's security, that's what it's about. So I've learned what the security needs are. I've learned how to take care of those needs. I've learned what causes the meltdowns and how to help my daughter specifically, but help children. So she's now 11. They say she's going on 17. She's learning about responsibility and respect. She has been learning this all along. As I have learned about the reactive attachment disorder, I've seen all of these behaviors that are so common, so that I can help her walk through them and work through them all through these years. It's not easy, but it's so important to understand what she's feeling so that I can not make things perfect, but to make things feel safe for her so that she can grow and develop and learn and attach connect with me and connect with others. She's learning about trust and trustworthiness and personal boundaries. She's learning to express herself quite well these days. She's gaining a lot more confidence in that, and I'm gaining more confidence in letting her do that, and letting her express to me her thoughts and needs and feelings and wants. I have things myself that I work on, and that's one of those things is allowing her to express herself more openly without it causing any kind of problem for me. So I've learned some ways to communicate and how to understand. We're learning to just connect, learning how to love without condition is a lifetime process, I'm sure. I've been studying with Brigham Young University, and I'm now a certified child and family advocate and a mentor for parents and children who are wanting to build a connection. Um, I have felt this and been preparing for this for many years, but I just am now starting to feel enough confidence that I can teach other people the things that I'm learning. I'm not in a place where I can tell anyone what they should do. I don't think that's the right way, but I'll share many stories about how in my prayers and my efforts, the answers to my prayers, and how it's so opposite of what I ever thought it would be, what my daughter would need. And anyway, the things that these children are experiencing has been so eye-opening for me. I am working with parents to educate and we offer trainings, we offer courses, and offer certain types of mentoring with children and parents. I'm doing homeschooling mentoring classes in my community. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. And I'm starting off this Tuesday, my one of my first events, I will say, is to do a webinar training on understanding attachment, understanding what our children are experiencing and how we can help them to feel secure. It might be something you've never ever understood or realized before, but or maybe you have and you can share with us the things that you're learning. To me, honestly, it's stuff that I have never thought of before in all of my training, all the things that are so common out in the world of child development. It was never ever brought to my attention, the things that I've learned through this process with my daughter. Um, but I will say this, I'm not doing this because I think I have all the answers. I'm not doing it because I think I'm any better than any other parent or that my daughter is better than any other child. I'm doing it because we're not and we're learning. And I think that we can relate to a lot of people. And I'll learn right along with you. I may be just a couple of steps ahead as far as the training for this particular challenge goes, like 11 years of practice. And many of you have had even more than that. So honestly, I just love these community support groups and stuff. So if you want to be part of any of this, just let me know. Join us first on Tuesday night, and you can hear Dr. John Brailsford will be the one who talks a little bit about this on Tuesday night. And I obviously will be there too to share my 2 cents. But I'm just excited. This is a new phase in my life now. The new phase I'm talking about is the training piece. Being the mom of a child with challenges is not new to me. Um, but it is my passion, it's my mission. I know I mentioned this before. I do this mentoring and I do the coaching and I work with therapists and life coaches and I know I say it all the time, the people that I'm working with to do trainings and webinars and whatever podcasts. But this specific topic and this specific type of mentoring is where my core of my heart is. It's where God is calling me to do the work. And it is the most intimidating part of my life because I don't feel qualified for this, but I feel called to it. I didn't feel called to doing lives either, but I've gotten used to that. And I have felt prompted so many times to get on here and do lives. And now Facebook won't let me do lives, and I want to do them. So it was kind of interesting that it turned out to be this way. But anyway, so I don't know what more I can share. I will in these support groups that we offer, I will share much more of my personal story and my personal experiences and some things that I've learned and I'm learning, things that are approved by my daughter when I share of her, speaking for her or her stories. It has to, I feel like in order for her to trust me, that it needs to be something that she approves of. But this was my story. And if there's anything, any questions you have about this or about me and my situation, then you can feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll sign off now and I hope y'all have a beautiful night. And I hope that I get out of Facebook jail soon. Have a good night. Bye.